this is something that I tell everyone. If you want to go see someone's child, if that child is not your sibling's child, please ask yourself if you want to, if it is needed, that, and if the mother is actually okay with it. Genuinely ask, are you sure you're okay with me coming? If not, please tell me I can meet the baby some other time. That's it. And it is so helpful for the mother. And when people go meet mothers, please take something for the mother. Don't have to take anything for the baby. Baby already has enough, way more than needed. So please do something for the mother.
Welcome to the Birth Agni podcast, the fire that births us and transforms us. This is a space where women reclaim birth on their own terms, where deep ancient knowing meets primal courage. We talk birth, womanhood, breastfeeding, parenting, and the quiet power of choosing differently, choosing of our own. Come as you are, leave more rooted. I'm Divya Kapoor, a childbirth educator, lactation counselor, trainee traditional midwife, and doula, disintegrating the politics of birth, one story at a time. Today we have in the Birth Agni recording studio my son, little Tavas. Tavas, you want to say something? Tavas is curious, Tavas is sleepy, and he might coo here and there in between. And that's the real postpartum. I'm standing right now to record this intro, and he is trying to rub his eyes because he's sleepy. And that's what postpartum is. It's not the soft, filtered reel you imagined. It's the messy, emotional, and full of surprises that most mums are never prepared for. So, mums step into postpartum period dreaming of snuggles, cuddles, smiley baby photos. I did the first time around, and that magical bond that exists. I dreamt of going swimming with my daughter already in pregnancy. Yes, Tavasu, you agree. What no one really prepares you for is the breastfeeding challenge, the sudden wave of postpartum anxiety, and the quiet, aching need for real support. In this episode, with doula and perinatal yoga instructor Surabhi, founder Kubbi Guddu, we talk about her journey of exclusively breastfeeding her daughter for a full year, and she's still ongoing, plus the raw, honest side of postpartum and the kind of support that actually makes the difference. Why should you listen to this episode? Yes, Tavasu, why should we listen to this episode? Because only 43% of babies in India are exclusively breastfed for 6 months. And a big reason is the lack of education and guidance around breastfeeding. Many women who do want to breastfeed end up stopping early because of issues that could have been prevented with simple, clear knowledge in pregnancy. In fact, 98% of mums in my breastfeeding programs go on to breastfeed exclusively when they get the right information and hand holding that I provide in all my programs. Surabhi is one such mum. In her own words, it's not easy, but not without rewards too. In this episode, we speak about it in a real way so it serves and does not distract you about what to expect postpartum. Let's talk about how education can reshape your entire breastfeeding journey and why what you learn before your baby arrives matters more than you think. Let's begin. Hi, Surabhi. Welcome to the show yet again.
Hey, Divya, thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, so last time we spoke all about your birth story, right from preparation, which was episode one, to birth story, like how did the labor, birth, everything went. But now in this episode, we are going to go deeper into postpartum. You have exclusively breastfed Pihu for the last 1 year, and we celebrated that as well. And you've done a lot of other things in postpartum as well. And there has been a lot of experiences also as a yoga teacher that you've been interacting with women and realizing the hurdles women face in postpartum. So, if I ask you, what are one of the major things that you think from your experience that women face in postpartum regarding breastfeeding that holds them back from making the right decision about breastfeeding?
So what happens is you know how vulnerable the postpartum phase is, right? Like you question everything, even if you're doing things right, you already are questioning it. But the people around you are also not really helpful because they don't say that you've got this, like, you can do this. Your body has been preparing for it. We all know that by 20 weeks of pregnancy itself, our breasts are ready to nurture the baby. But we don't believe that 20 weeks after that, also when the baby is born, we can feed the baby soon after the birth. We don't believe in the dance of the hormones and how rhythmic everything is and how everything is beautifully set naturally. So I think it's that trust that is not built around it, which causes a lot of confusion in a mother who's already confused and overwhelmed at that point of time. And like we've talked about, the education aspect is really, really important. But it's not just the mother who needs to be educated, it's the people around her who needs to be educated about this as well. I think our parents' generation, unfortunately, were very sold on formula feeds, and they have normalized that so much that now, with any doubt, any cry that a baby has, the first thing that even I heard was, I think the milk is not sufficient. So I think top it up, top it up, top it up. And multiple wakings in the night, top it up. I think the milk is not sufficient. That's why the baby is waking up. Nobody talks about how breastfeeding is not just about the food and the nourishment aspect of it. There is bonding, there's comfort, there is soothing that the baby also seeks through the breast of the mother. And I think that knowledge is like very, very less around us. So that becomes the major hurdle in getting started with breastfeeding and also continuing with it over a period of time, because you need that support no matter how long you've breastfed your baby for. Even if you're doing it for the second or third time, it can be overwhelming at every stage, because the first time you feed the baby is not the same as how you do it at 1 year mark or 6 months mark or anything. Everything changes. The baby behaves differently over a period of time, and you need that support. They're different when they start to crawl. They're different when they start to teeth. When they're learning to walk, they're very, very different, and everything affects the mother. And you need a space to vent. That's also there. Like, you need another mother who actually understands this. And sometimes I feel like you also need to find a mother who's going through a very similar journey as yours. Otherwise, it's very hard for someone else to understand what you're going through, because the choices that you make, like with us, for example, exclusively breastfeeding was pretty much a non-negotiable until, like, push came to shove. And like, if I took a step back, I think I've also had multiple conversations with you in between, right? Where I messaged you the previous night and I said, like, no, I'm not doing this anymore because this is just really painful. She started biting, and it was the peak teething phase of hers. And I needed you to say that, okay, let's look into it. I wanted somebody to acknowledge that, yes, I understand that you're going through this pain and discomfort. Sleep on it. Let's decide tomorrow. Let's start working on it. I needed to hear this. So you said that, and Darshan said that, which gave me confidence that I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, if I want a way out of this, I have a way out of this, and I have the support for that also, because it was very overwhelming. I've sat through nights crying, and that is what is lacking. Because when somebody doesn't go through the whole process of it, they cannot comprehend what you're talking about. Because all they want to listen to is, you wanted to breastfeed, you said you were enjoying, and now you're complaining about it. It's like, yes, it's double-edged sword. Like, there are good days, there are bad days as well. So I think what I have seen is mostly that lack of support in general from everyone to understand what the mother is going through is what is the major hurdle. And the start of it, how it begins is also extremely important, I feel. I think there's a lot of misconception around going through a C-section and not being able to breastfeed. And honestly, this is like the most amazing news that I have gotten very recently from a student of mine who was a part of the breastfeeding session that you did with us recently, right? Her husband called me up after the birth and he said, I mean, some of the things went wrong and she gave birth through a C-section. And hospital, as usual, recommended formula feeding because, they said that she's not able to sit. She won't produce milk for another 2, 3 days because she went through a C-section. So let's give formula and all of that. And he put his foot down because she wasn't in a place to fight for it. He put his foot down and he said, I will handle holding the baby. I will figure it all out. Give her a chance. If it doesn't work, we will do it. We will give her formula. Obviously, the baby is hungry and the mother is not able to produce the milk, and we will give formula. But let us try. And they did try, and she did breastfeed her baby from the get-go. And he was so happy. And there were a lot of things going on, but he made sure that he said that the session was an eye-opener for him to understand that it is possible. And all you need to do is try. And that openness of if it doesn't work out, there is another way that you can choose as well. I think this is very important. Like, I think we tend to stick to a route, and when it doesn't work, we don't know what to do with it. So it's on either extremes for us. Either do it this way or don't do it at all. So that middle ground is also something that I think people around the mother needs to understand, because that phase itself is so sensitive, right? So you can't fight all the battles as a mother. You choose to pick your battles, and there needs to be someone around you who will fight some of these for you as well. So
No, certainly. I mean, so many things from what you've said. One, partner support and knowledge of the partner because he's going to be the one
yeah,
fighting for you. Second, from the story that came out was this session was the first basic session. The only thing I said to everybody was gave them a
yeah,
scenario that this is going to happen. This is exactly what they're going to say, and this is what I'm going to do. I gave them one, two, three. That is what you do. In fact, how do you breastfeed with cesarean is not a part of that session. It's a part of subsequent sessions.
yeah,
Yeah. But he was still with just that information that he could do it, he could ask for it from someone who is an expert telling him to do it. I mean, parents are like children,
yeah,
right? Like all of us become children. We are being
yeah,
mentored. So it's on the mentor to tell you that it's okay if it doesn't work out, but you can try, and also to give that space. And I've been mindful of saying that even if you give formula one night because you were so pressurized, you can pick yourself up and do it the next feed. I mean, you don't have to kill yourself for I couldn't get this started on exclusive breastfeed.
exactly.
I mean, who told you that every feed through your entire journey of breastfeeding has to be breast milk for it to be
Yeah,
exclusive? The day you give it, the day it becomes exclusive. So, I mean, that sort of we'll have to hold women as human beings in this than just, you know, reaching a goal. That's there. That's part of the mission. But they will never be able to reach a goal unless and until they first hold themselves with grace and
yeah.
not guilt. That's enable amount there all over the place. So absolutely love that. And education is hands down very, very important. And having someone like Surabhi, having people around you who hold your hand. I mean, in this journey, when you take mentorship of different sorts, have someone next to you. That's so so important. So so many things from that conversation, Surabhi. And so along with breastfeeding, you also did what is called elimination communication. And although as a culture we've always practiced that, we didn't have diapers like a couple of
Yeah.
decades ago. Um, but we were never given a name. So many of us, including myself with my first one, dismissed my mother. Oh, this is so hard. How will I do it? I did it on and off, but it wasn't something that I was focused on because my mother said it. And of all the things that she'd already, dismissed me on breastfeeding, I wasn't taking that from her. But we know that that is so useful and that's so fantastic. So before we even go ahead and understand what you did, what is elimination communication for our listeners?
So I think at the basic of it, it's just about listening to the cues of your baby to eliminate, just like how there are hunger cues and tiredness cues and sleep cues and everything that we talk about and we learn about. It's the same thing. It's the ejection and the elimination. So I think we've come to a point, unfortunately, where whatever we Indians did like the best practices that we had, it goes out of the country, gets packaged in a nice way, and comes back to us, and we are fascinated with it. I think that's exactly what happened with us with elimination communication. Because when Divya Kanal was talking about it, and we were like, okay, you need that tub, all of that, and we were learning all of these techniques and everything. And we started doing it from day 4. The first 3 days we were at the hospital, and we were like, we're like not going to worry about it. We'll settle in, we'll come back home, settle in, and we start. So we started it on day 4. We caught her poop on day 4, outside of the diaper. And we were trying to hold her in different positions to see what is comfortable. And my mother was like happy and like casual about it. And I was like, come, come, see, she pooped outside of the diaper. And I was like, huh, this is what we did with you. And I was like, okay, then why did you not tell me all of this? It's like, I thought diaper is like such a norm for you guys that I thought that's what you wanted to do. Like, no, that's not what we want to do. And I think more than the workshop, and more than what we learned from the articles that we read and everything, my mother helped us go back to the basics of what Indians did to eliminate. So she showed us a lot of new positions to hold her. Because at that point, because I was resting, pretty much Darshan took over the whole process of it, looking at the cues and everything. Obviously, I was there. Sometimes she would poop while she was breastfeeding. Those we were okay with it happening in the diaper and everything. We didn't stop the breastfeeding to get her to poop or anything like that. So, same goes with the breastfeeding, right? Like there are hits and misses. And one thing that we learned also to be okay with the mess of it, be okay with the misses, and also be happy about the hits that happen. You know, the more you're able to do it outside of the diaper, the lesser infection chances of infection, the cleaner it is for her. Even she was able to poop comfortably because the position is also very different. She was not lying down and pooping. So she used to be in a nice squatted position that Darshan used to hold her, and she used to poop comfortably. And I think when she eliminated completely. So that was there. There was no residual discomfort that she used to go through. And there were times when Darshan held her, she would just fart. That pressure. We talked about that. We talk about that ILU massage and everything to release the gas and everything. But the deep squatted position, obviously, we know that it is like the nicest way to, release fast gas also. And that also happened. Sometimes she would just fart and she would just like, and she would just like melt into his arms and just come out of it without pooping. I think in terms of the digestion and the elimination, that process really, really helped. And touchwood, zero rashes because she was clot diapered, and we did easy with her, and we didn't have to worry about the poop and everything. By the time she hit the fourth month mark, and she was more aware of everything, and she had associated pooping with my husband. So she knew that he would come whenever she had to poop. So she started calling, like when she would be lying down and she would be feeding, and if she wanted to poop, she would just like get up and look at the door, and she would start calling Appa, 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 and he would come take her, and she would be so happy to see him. She's like, huh, like she would go. She knew that there was that communication going on between the two of them, and I got really lucky because he was also working from home, so he pretty much took over the whole EC process with her, and she was very comfortable with it. That helped a lot because I know as mothers, like as soon as you give birth, you cannot expect yourself to, be on your feet all the time, do the diapering, cleaning, feeding, and this as well. So having him and the fact that he took over that part of the job was really helpful. So I think if someone is trying to do it, if someone is planning to do it, it's better to get it started from someone else so that you can rest for at least those 6 weeks that we talk about, that rest. right? Like you can do that while someone else takes care of this because you're already doing so much. You can hand this over to someone else. So it becomes very important for the father to learn this, is what I felt, because you cannot expect the mother to do everything. So, yeah. And if someone is trying, please don't be hard on yourself. Take it easy. We did it on day 4 because I had this kind of support, and he was very keen on it as well. He was very interested in doing it when after we did the session and everything. So that is there. If you do start it a little later, also it's absolutely fine. So there's no harm in it. When you feel like you are recovered and you have the energy for it, do it. And you don't have to do it all with all the cues as well. You can do it for some parts of the day, and rest of the days you can just let it be and it's okay as well. So I think, yeah, but it's one of the best things that we have done for her.
It takes away the load of potty
It
training
does.
as it is, because yeah, that's a huge problem that women face today. That children are not, they are not potty trained well because they are scared of pooping into a bowl where it
Yeah,
falls down. That's one of the things
yeah,
that happens. So they know, they tell you, they know that I'm gonna poop, I'm gonna pee, but they would still not want to eliminate themselves onto something else because it, they can be
yeah.
scared of
I
it.
think it's the sensation that they're not very comfortable with. And because you do it, I mean, you don't have to start it on day 4, day 1, or anything. Even if you start it at the 2-month, 3-month mark, also for that matter, they usually easily transition into it. And it becomes very easy. And I think I've seen a lot of people struggling to potty train, like, the videos, the songs, and, all the tricks. It's very hard. It's a lot of work, especially when they understand everything. It's a lot harder. And they're able to communicate very strongly as well at that point of time. It's a lot harder, I feel.
Yeah, because you as a human being is like, you know what this is. Why don't you
Yeah,
oblige? Why don't you do it? Like, what's so difficult about this? But it is the association. Everything around the baby is about association. Association with the breast, association with, you know, going to a particular place to pee
yeah,
and poop, and the learning that this is safe for
yeah,
me. This is absolutely safe. I will be fine doing it. So it's just building a habit
yeah,
in the baby, and that takes time and effort, of course.
yeah.
But and that's how our parents were doing
True.
it. So diapers with all the chemicals, with everything that they have on them, and the amount of
Yeah,
landfill they create, the waste landfill that they create. That's absolutely unhealthy for us because we are reconsuming it by other means, by water, by foods. It's a win-win for
true.
everybody.
So with the easy, the other thing that I want to add is don't run it by your pediatrician that you're doing easy, because I don't think they agree with it, because they think that it is okay to train the baby later. And for some reason, they're concerned with the position and everything. But if you hold the baby in the right position where the spine is supported and the hip is supported, it is absolutely safe. And the other misconception that we heard a lot is babies don't have control over their sphincter muscles, which is absolutely not right, because we were also equally surprised when this happened. This happened once with her. Uh, we were out somewhere, and she gave all the cues to poop, and so Darshan had done this. So whenever he would take her from the bed or wherever she was to the loo, he would use the words wait, wait, I'm taking you, wait, wait, wait. And we were out. She gave all the signs to poop, and he said, wait, we're going home. We'll poop there. So wait. Karke, he said, and she waited for 20 minutes to come back home and poop. This was when she was 4.5, 5 months old or something. And that is when I realized, okay, whatever we hear these days is absolutely not right. And now that we know that she has the sphincter control and everything, now she's transitioning. I don't know what, I think she's going through a lot of changes in the body. So pooping in the pot is not her priority anymore. Giving cues to poop is also not her priority anymore, because she's always distracted with something that is happening around her. And now she, at least 1 or 2 poops in a day, goes in the diaper now. We don't even realize that she has pooped. Only when she fusses and she's like, it's like, come and clean. And There were days when we just didn't know why she was fussy because we were not used to seeing her poop in the diaper, and we didn't realize that that's another thing that we need to actually check because she got into a proper rhythm. Like she would wake up, poop, and before going to bed in the night once, she would poop. So she had gotten into a proper rhythm. So we assumed that it has got nothing to do with the poop. And we were like, okay, there's some smell and like we don't know what is happening. And then we started checking the diaper regularly. Realized, okay, now sometimes she also poops in the diaper and we actually need to look into it. That's another thing that we need to start doing. And both are possible. Both are possible. It will completely depend on what stage of development that they're in and what they want to prioritize. And you have absolutely zero control over it. So, yeah, so both are possible. That's what I wanted to tell.
It's a very important point, especially for mothers. Like the way social media tells us that, aim for this or sleep train your baby and your baby will sleep. My child has slept for, like, since my baby was 6 months old, my baby has slept for the entire night. Now, what these influencers are telling you, it's just a way, it's a possibility. They are aware when they are putting that video
Yeah,
out. They are aware that that's a possibility that they're throwing at you. It may not be 100% possible, but it's really unethical. I think it can be said that you can try and it's possible. There will be some hits and misses. I think human beings, adults, parents are aware, and it will only help their nervous system feel better than be, uh, sort of smothered in a nervous system reload of what they felt when they were children at school, when they were coached and told, oh, that's the glorious end to this. It took all of us so many years, including our own adulthood, to realize that there's no glorious end to anything. It's always a
yeah,
process. So it's not a win. It's not a win, win, win. We are all looking at the win because that's what we've been taught as children. So please don't get into that cesspool of the win with breastfeeding, the win with EC, the win with
I know.
anything postpartum. It's so crucial, and I'm so thankful for you to bring it up because yeah, it helps everybody to actually do better. You do better. You do better. You
Yeah,
breastfeed better. You do everything better when you give yourself that grace and know that there's a human being in front of you. Now we not need to look at the human being. What is it? And we've spoken, Surabhi, you and I. My first born, Divi, was absolutely different from my
yeah,
second one. He is very different.
yeah,
Also in terms of their needs, how they function, he is a very different baby, and he is a far more communicative, I feel, than my elder one. Or maybe even if she was communicative, I was so engrossed in what's the right
yeah,
way. Dan had
yeah,
looked at her so much. So look at your baby. Actually, the baby will tell you what and how things
yeah,
need to be. And once you start doing that and see the magic like you saw at 4 months, you'll start trusting that
yeah.
far more. And on the West, telling us what to do, there was co-sleeping that they absolutely
Oh, yeah.
refuted back in the day. And there are still people who question, how are you putting the baby on you? I am a big fan of doulas, and I always tell everybody, have a doula. That's the best kind of swaddle. But if you hear the, as an expert, if I've been taught not to tell parents do that, but I tell them that, the research paper says you have to put your baby on a flat back, but we've been using Chula throughout. We've been carrying our babies on our body, and that's not a flat back. That's actually a curved back. So it's absolutely not bad. And you'll have to, at some point, use your own discretion and go back to your culture and your parents and give them some respect.
Yes.
Of course, there are certain things that they do not know, but there are many they do. For example, the way they hold the baby. So with my son, he's going to be 4, um, but and he is held around the waist, and my father even keeps him standing, but he's holding
Oh,
him because he says that he wants to stand, and he does want to stand. I see that he picks his entire body up now to pick
wow.
him up, and when we hold his hand, he lifts his
Yeah,
entire body up and wants to get up. So my mother would actually take him all the way up. He wants to do that, she says. He wants to do that. I'm holding him. It's okay. His pelvis is actually very malleable at
yeah,
the moment, and I was worried. His pelvis is malleable, and it's fine. And they're not doing it too many times in the day for it to hurt
exactly.
him. but it's listening to his cues and giving him what he needs to do. That's very important. And holding him right. If you're holding the spine, like you would know that more than me, Surabhi. If you're holding the spine, you are actually holding the entire body and holding
Yes,
the bum
yes,
in some way, giving the bum
yeah,
as well the support. The baby is not taking
yeah,
the weight of it. So we can allow our parents who've done it with their
exactly.
children, have seen other children in their household, at least how to hold the baby. They know better than
True.
us.
And also, another thing, Divya, this is something that I've noticed with PU for the last 1 year. You cannot force a baby to do anything. You can do this with adults. You cannot do this with babies because now she's standing with support, walking with support, and everything. But now you cannot force her to stand when she doesn't want to stand. You cannot hold her hands and walk when she doesn't want to do it. If she wants to crawl, she's going to crawl. If she wants to walk, she will do it when she wants to. So there's no forcing a baby from the get-go, from the beginning, to do anything against their will, wish, and capability. So I think the standing thing, even we went through that where I was very skeptical because I read a lot of things about deformities and unstable hips and a lot of weight and everything. If they can't do it, they will not do it. That's it, period.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I think that will be the motto of the episode, that babies will not do what they don't want to do. And that's why breastfeeding is different for different women, and their own situation can be
Yeah,
harder than someone else in at a particular point in time. So say 3 months is harder for somebody else, but the 3 month is fine for someone else, but fourth is harder. So don't compare. First thing is don't
never.
compare. See your own situation. Reach out somebody who understands you and also you feel comfortable with. It's not necessary that you will align with every expert, and that's what I do with my classes, with the doula program, with everything else. That if you come interview me, I'll be very happy to be interviewed, because I also want alignment. And if that doesn't seem to work out for you, if you don't feel aligned with me, let's not work together, because probably someone else will serve you
Yeah.
better. So whenever you take service from a pediatrician, from a doctor, don't think they know everything. They don't know anything about your
Yes,
baby.
exactly.
You These are normal
Yes,
biological, yeah, processes. It's not a problem that you're going to them with. You're going with a question, a query. Maybe everything is okay
yeah,
at your end. Also, like you said, Survi, pediatricians are not well trained with the other aspects of the baby.
that's true.
So take everything, yeah, with a pinch of salt. So, for example, with the baby's weight gain on the lower percentile, which is a lot of Indian babies, you will be forced to feed the baby
Yeah,
formula. And it takes a lot of work with the parent to show them that probably they don't need to do it. If they listen to the cues of the baby, like you said, if they work according to the baby, they might still be able to see the weight gain with feeding, but it might take a different course, and it takes time to build that trust in the parent as well. So yeah, pediatricians may not be the best person. It's time that we reach out to the right
yeah,
people, and also somebody you
yeah,
align with. Yeah. And with respect to Darshan took the classes. He has been very, passionate about breastfeeding. And with the webinar that we did together, he was very passionate. He did all the designing, he did all the, work with us. And it was wonderful to see that. And so, what do you think, Surabhi, in the community, when other men see that from their friends, what do you think? It does create a ripple effect?
Uh, it does two things. One, yes, people get inspired and they want to be as involved as he is. But it also has the other side, which was very shocked to see, which when people asked, what work do you have with the baby? Like when he said, when he did not step out with friends to go out somewhere and he said, no, I have to be at home to take care of Pihu, said like, it's so easy to raise a child. Like, what work do you have? And he would be so furious. He would be so furious. And it's like, are these people really parenting or like being around the child? Like, why are men like this? And he was very confused. And to some extent, I would say it is half and half. Half the population doesn't support men being so involved as a parent because it's not too common yet. But the other half of it is like get very inspired. They want to try, they want to help, they want to be involved, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see that, and it's fascinating to see men step up, uh, literally sideline the parental thoughts and do what they need to do for their wives and their babies. Uh, we saw both sides of it, so it's interesting. It's very interesting how the community is still like a little mixed.
Yeah, men need their own communities where they sit together with different people. The way we as women have evolved, it's not that all of us were. We were always intuitive, we were
Yeah,
always nurturing, we were always caring. But there was an aspect of insecurity in all of us that has been there throughout
yeah.
generations with everybody. So to be able to come out of that with education, with empowerment, with going out, all of those things, we've evolved, we've learned so much. And we all do when we have those community, when we have the right people around, and with men as well.
I know. Unfortunately, that's what he keeps telling. Like whenever I have a problem, I talk to so many women. Like I have a lot of friends who are in similar stages of life, and I'm like, oh, I don't think you will understand what I'm going to say, so I'm going to talk to someone else. And that's the conversation I have with Darshan, and he's like, I miss this. Like I don't have this with anyone, and he feels so sad because I know I cannot completely understand what he's going through either. As a father, the feelings that he goes through because un I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, he prioritized me a lot, and I did not have the mind space to take care of him or hold space for him for a longer period of time. So there was nobody to hold space for him. He couldn't go out and talk to his guy friends about all of this, and he's like, I hate this. I don't like you people. You guys are like a team. You guys, especially I think when we both talk, he gets so irritated. It's like, I can't talk to anyone about all of this. There is no emotional support that he gets, which is very, very sad for a man. And I don't know why. I mean, he's a very emotional person. So at least I feel like he should have found someone, but like so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that they don't have a community like that.
Yeah, and men, not all men are emotional. They're not
Yeah.
raised like that. So if he is emotional, that's a fantastic thing. Which is why the three of us in our group that we created, that's still going on after a
I
year
know.
of
Yes.
you guys having. So that's ongoing because there is communication. He communicates, he shares there, and now I understand even better why he's always like, you too. Why are you talking outside of this group?
Yes.
It should be like so now I have a better sort of a background to that. So yes, men do need community. They do need to be held because they are also new
Yeah.
fathers. They don't know anything. They can go through anxiety. They can go through. In fact, there's an episode on the podcast itself. There was from Postpartum Support International. That's an international organization. If you are a father listening to this, a new parent and going through phases of anxiety or something, this international organization offers you um, calls which are free of cost to hear you. And one of the coordinators, Joshua, was there on the episode and he shared his journey. He was absolutely taken aback. He didn't know how to support his wife, and his wife was going through anxiety herself. And he didn't have anybody to share this with, and it began before the parenthood began itself. It began in pregnancy, where he was not sure of his duties, whether he'll be able to do it, whether he'll be a good father. Sometimes you have all these inbuilt things with you because you've seen certain things with your childhood or someone else. You have those life experiences. Somebody needs to bring
Yeah.
yourself, help you navigate this
Yeah.
better. And isolation, especially from the COVID times, and I can't even imagine COVID
Oh, yeah.
parenting. Yeah, if you have any residue as well from there, or your friends, somebody talks about that period and feels absolutely alone in that period. And so definitely seek support. It's still not late. You are going to live in your like the postpartum and the breastfeeding and the parenthood phase is going to live in your body
Yeah.
forever with vivid images. So it's very important that this important phase gets the light and the support years later, if you need to. And Surabhi, with breastfeeding, so we've talked about the initial issues that happen. So education is hands down very important. We also spoke about one-to-one support throughout. If you can have someone who can hold your hand. Anything else that you see around breastfeeding that you'd like to highlight for our moms to know, and prepare for in the beginning, or know how to navigate that in postpartum when it comes to breastfeeding? And also baby wearing. We didn't speak about that. So you did a lot of baby wearing as well. So about that as well. Yeah.
So with the breastfeeding, I think the support is one aspect of it, but the other aspects are your personal nutrition, your hydration, and the posture that you take to breastfeed is like equally important. Whether it is C-section, vaginal birth, it's not going to matter. The posture is still important, and that posture is important for a very, very long period of time because it's not just the initial phase where the body is recovering. It takes longer. It takes about like a year, year and a half, 2 years for the body to completely feel. This is very wrong to say that completely feel better or different, but yeah, to get to some stability for that matter. So, posture becomes like very important, and you need to understand that before you get into it. And baby wearing is really, really, really useful because it's hard to carry the baby on in your arms. And unfortunately, we also live in isolations now. We are smaller families, just the parents and the kid, and it's very hard to do everything that you need to do to get through the day and also take care of a newborn. So in India, it is still okay. At least we have some parental support, like the grandparents come over or you go to your parents' place and there's some support. I've seen people doing this all by themselves with no support, especially when they're outside of the country. So baby wearing is like extremely useful. The connection between baby wearing and breastfeeding is also equally amazing. There were times when a couple of my students have told me that they've noticed the quantity of the breast milk has reduced, and they don't know what to do. They did all the things, like all the dillies, all the nutritional aspects were taken care of. Hydration was taken care of, but the last thing that worked for them, I just told her, wait for a day. Tonight when you're sleeping, just put your baby on your chest, bare chest, hold your baby and just sleep it off. Let's see if you still feel that if you are producing less milk tomorrow, then we'll look into it karke. And just that helped. Everything was sorted, right? And the baby wearing and the skin contact that we talk about and everything, we think it is only for the first few weeks of the birth. It's not. It's for a longer period of time. I think as long as the baby needs it, you should be able to give it. There are a lot of people who will come and tell you, "Ki, don't carry your baby around a lot. You're holding her in the back for too long. You're carrying her around a lot, trying to put her to sleep by rocking, walking, singing. It's not sustainable." Eventually, over a period of time, they'll get used to all of this, and you'll have to do this for a long period of time and everything. All of that is nonsense. It is not true at all. And this you kept reiterating to us a lot. And I still remember the analogy that you had given, right? Like the kid with a doll, where it is her doll and she keeps it with her. And if someone threatens to take that away from her, how agitated and disoriented a baby feels, and they try to cling on to it and make sure that they hide it and they don't give it to anyone. But if you tell that that doll is safe and you tell that I'll take it for some time and I'll give it back to you, and you actually follow through, they feel more safe and secure about it. I think breastfeeding, holding, wearing, everything falls into place at that in that. So please hold your babies for as long as you can, because once they start crawling, they will not come to you. It's a misconception that you hold the baby for a longer period of time in their early stages, and they will expect that you would want to do it now, and they will not come to you when they're older. And that's true. That is so true. And we miss that baby phase now because she doesn't want to be held now. All she wants to do is crawl, explore everything, and no, she doesn't want to be held. And the only holding that I get now at 1 year mark is when I'm feeding her. Otherwise, she wants to just run away from everyone. So, and They're lightweight initially. It's easier to hold them. As in when they get heavier, it's harder to hold them longer. So please, these advices that don't align with you as a person, please don't listen to them. If you don't want to hold your child, if you are getting tired, you want someone else to do that job for you, it is absolutely fine. But if it is not innately your choice to do something, please don't do that, because it is very, very important to not just listen to your baby's cues with everything else, but also listen to how your body feels when you do things against your own will, because it puts a lot of stress on your body. And that can affect a lot of things, including breastfeeding for that matter. And I think people forget this. You forget to listen to your baby because you have listened to so many videos, gone through so many reels that you have a set things in mind. You have set things in mind ki, ha, this is how it is supposed to look like, you know. Ha, 3 months mein babies sleep for 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours. Then they take two naps in a day. Then they sleep through the night. If they don't sleep in the morning, they sleep well through the night. And or some people also say that if they sleep well in the day, they will sleep well in the night also. But that's absolutely not true. Your baby is absolutely very, very, very different from all these statistics and like numbers and structures. They're not like that at all. So while you listen to your baby's cues, also listen to yourself, because it is important what your body feels, because your body will feel it. If somebody takes your baby away from you, you know what it feels like. But there will be days when you would want someone else to hold the baby, and it gives you that relaxation and a break. And that is also equally important. So that it's very, very important to do that. So I think if we are able to do that, if you are able to get in tune with yourself, it's easier to get in tune with your baby. And that works for you. And do what works for you. It doesn't have to be, I mean, I absolutely don't think there is any right way of parenting at all. What works for you works for you. Because I was talking to a student of mine recently, and she was telling me that parenting is the biggest flex right now. And if you do these things, you're an amazing parent. But you don't, then you're in question. So, and it's very unfortunate that parenting has come to that. It's a it's a skill, yes. It's a skill that you develop for your child, and it is very personalized for that child, not even for the second or the third or the fourth one that you have. It's specifically for that particular child. Some babies sleep, some babies don't sleep much. They don't need that much sleep. They're just the way they are. And some babies are comfortable with EC, some babies are not, because it just doesn't work for them at that point of time. Keep trying. If it doesn't work, it's okay to take a step back. There are a zillion other ways to take care of your child. So it doesn't have to be in a format that we think cognitively is the right way of doing things. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I have learned in the last one whole year.
Listeners, have that as a thumb rule. Be intuitive in your journey. People grow out of love and marriages. Your baby will grow out of being held by you. They are going to grow into a whole human being, and they are not going to do the same thing as you think they will. So don't hold the baby. गोदी में उठाया हुआ है. अरे इसको आदत पड़ जाएगी. One off person comes for 1 minute and gives you that advice. One, they're not even eligible to do that. Two, please don't take that pressure and ask your husband to actually get the guests sidelined. Whenever something like this comes up, they can actually proactively, if they're around, take that space. My mother-in-law actually did that for many of the guests when she saw me uncomfortable, or she would not even ask me to come out. She'd be like, "You stay inside. I'll just show them the baby and bring the baby inside." And that was, I think, now I think when I think about that, I think that was wonderful. I mean, I would have been given tons of it. People are looking at your breasts.
So
People are
yeah.
looking at if they're leaking. People are doing all sorts of things which you, as a new age woman, would be like, "Oh, does that even happen?" I mean, that's so awful to do. I mean, to look at someone's body. How does somebody even
Yeah.
do that?
Sorry to cut you off, but we did one better, luckily. We were lucky enough to get that support with a lot of resistance, but this was 6 weeks, literally no contact from anyone outside of the family. It was just the grandparents and like the first circle, like my sibling and his sister. That's it. No one else came home. No one else visited us. And we went out. We went, met a friend. We did it that way because when I wanted a break, we initiated going out because having someone home in your space when you're in that early stages of postpartum is very uncomfortable. At least I was very uncomfortable, and I'm not a very people person when I'm doing something very intense. So I did not want anyone home. So I could just be at home, not wearing a bra, leaking my breasts out, wearing something that I'm comfortable with because it was peak summer. I didn't want to be clothed properly at that point of time. And having someone over, matlab, you need to take a bath, you need to dress up properly, at least presentable. I wasn't in the zone for that at all. And we did get a lot of, uh, you know, conversation about that from the parents. But I said, this is our child and I am the one, we are the ones doing the most of the work. We are the ones bearing it. And we are not sleeping well. We have a lot of things to do during the day. And adding one more thing to it, entertaining people, is not on my priority. I don't care because it is not going to matter whether your relative sees the baby at day one, day 20, or 6 months. It is not going to change their life in any way. And it's absolutely okay to put your foot down if that is what makes your life easy. But if you're comfortable having people around, please do. There's nothing wrong with it either. So I think we do this. There's extremes for everything. You have 200 people walking into the hospital to see your baby, or you're like not doing it at all. So
Yeah, no, that's a very, very good point because that's something that we did culturally.
yes,
Ritualistically, Sutak is has been a part of our Ayurvedic way of taking care of the mother. The mother and the baby actually don't come out of the room, which is something you wouldn't
yeah,
want to do. But if you understand why that isolation was there, it is for the mother to just soak into postpartum and do the initial healing with the baby, nobody touching the baby. And there, so if you come, if because I'm a new mom, I have a lot of fresh things to add, which I'll add to my breastfeeding course as well. So so there is a fascination with waking the baby up. There's a fascination with wanting to do a lot of things with a newborn. The baby is not even going to play with you for 5 minutes. That thinking that the baby will talk to you in the first 40 days, the baby is doesn't need anyone. That's the thing, the baby doesn't need anyone other than the mother and the father. And it is important to put your food down if you like it. Like you said, it should be self driven. Do not have guests if you don't like it. I didn't want guests. My mother came a week after. I didn't want anybody in the beginning. Of course, there was a lot of we got a lot of flack. There were a lot of communication. We did that. That was how it happened. So my husband had to reiterate. We had to like we reinforce things on a baby just
yeah,
to create that sort of space, reinforcing our choices again and again. There was so much pushback that happened. We reinforced it again and again. In fact, held a little party. It wasn't little, but there was the party happened so that okay, you everybody wants to meet the baby so much. Okay, after a month and a half, please come
yeah,
then meet. So but yeah, you do what you do to there's no right and wrong. You do what you do to ensure your baby's safety, your
yeah,
healing, whatever works best for you as a family, you
yeah.
do that.
I mean, we shouldn't be fighting for this. That's the unfortunate part. Like, you need to fight it at every point of time. You're already doing so much, but you need to fight for the choices that you want to make, which is very unfortunate. I think that happens with the birth also. We spoke about that, right? Like, wanting to give unmedicated birth is not a fight that you need to have. It's not necessary. The same goes with all of these things as well, right? Like, you don't have to fight and say that I don't want to have anyone around me. I was, I don't know, I used to get very stimulated since pregnancy. I've been like that. I couldn't stay in crowded places for too long. I couldn't listen to loud music. And it all triggered in pregnancy for me. and it continued. It still is continuing for me. I still cannot be in a crowded place for too long, I think. And she picks up on my energy and she gets fussy. So people think that she's a fussy child, but they don't see the fussy mother who's trying to put up a show in front of people. Because I know the society, I understand how to be a part of the society. And I think if this is something that I tell everyone. If you want to go see someone's child, if that child is not your sibling's child, please ask yourself if you want to, if it is needed, that, and if the mother is actually okay with it. Genuinely ask, are you sure you're okay with me coming? If not, please tell me, I can meet the baby some other time. That's it. And it takes, it's so helpful for a mother, and it is so helpful for the mother. And when people go meet mothers, please take something for the mother. Don't have to take anything for the baby. Baby already has enough, way more than needed. So please do something for the mother. Because this is something that I tell all my students, because uh, I do teach general practitioners, right, who don't have children or who don't plan to have children anytime soon. And they see all these mothers, like they see pregnant women, they see postpartum mothers and everything. And all my students ask, like, I'm going to see a friend of mine. She's like 6, 8 weeks postpartum. What do you think I should bring her? I said, please ask her. How does she want the support from you? Don't go there to just sit. Ask her what if she wants the food to be cooked, do that. If she wants you to hold the baby so that she can go take like nice half an hour, 1 hour long shower, do that. So do that. Ask whoever you're meeting, ask them what kind of support do they need. Don't go there, put your feet up and ask somebody to bring chai, coffee, and sit there and chill. That is not what a mother wants at that point of time. So I think it's very, very important for us to understand how to support a mother. You don't have to be the father, you don't have to be in the first circle or anything. You can be just a friend who's watching your friend go through postpartum. You might not know what to do. You don't have to know it either. You can just ask. Please be open about it. Ask what she wants and do it accordingly. If you can, please do it. If you don't, it's fine. She's not going to worry about it. But don't do crazy stuff.
Yeah, and this is so basic. When we visit someone, we call them, ask them, is it okay for us to come? Why not postpartum?
And it's their right to see the baby. I don't know how it turned out to be someone's right to see a newborn. It's not. Nobody's life has changed. Outside of the house, nobody's life has changed at all. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was saying that even if you're a sibling, you can ask for permission. Maybe. So my parents, I told them like a week later, I don't even want to see you. Like my mom, I told her. Of course, she didn't like it. She was like, okay. But yeah, but they respected. That's the thing that I had. That they respected it. So they were like, okay, a week later, whenever you want us, we'll come. We'll come here. But we'll be around. But we'll only come when you ask us to. So when you think of the mother, she will remember it for
yes,
life because she you prioritized her at that vulnerable stage of time, and what all you did at that point in time that negated her feelings, her request, her
yes,
little request. She knows her position in the family from there on. Giving her a social perspective of who she is, you are doing a lot more damage to your relationship than you
yes.
think you are. And you think people don't realize? No, people, you're not going to be able to now, sort of. Teach the mother how she should be as a human being. Gone are the days. You cannot be telling a human being what to feel, how to feel as a woman, as a bahu. And I'm categorically speaking about a woman living in someone else's house. So and that's her. And in fact, that is something absolutely out of the question. But I was sitting down with my father. I said, who started this, Papa, that a woman needs to leave her house and go to someone else's house and live with their parents? Like, who started? He said, you're right. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to figure this out. It's been there for
I know.
years. And I was so happy he said that I will figure this out. I'll look into it. And that in itself was like, okay, figure this out. So someone else doesn't, train their daughter, said this is how it
Yeah.
should be. I mean, so yeah, I mean, ask for permission. Whether you'd be seen, you will be shown the baby. Baby is going nowhere. Baby is going nowhere. and you'll be able to enjoy the baby at 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months, when they start making
Yeah.
eye contact, talking to you, answering back. You are going to, and the mother would actually then want you to hold the baby, because the baby doesn't sleep with just feeding. She would want you to take the baby and walk the baby around and make the baby sleep. I need so many
Yes.
people now at 3.5 months than I did when it was 40 days. I needed nobody. I could really do it. And the other thing, my husband and I, when we spoke about, all the arguments that came, the mother only has to sit in the room, there's nothing that she has to do. Everybody that is taking care of the mother is now attending to the guests. You
Yes.
forget that. You're still taking a big piece of her help away from her. So even if she needs water, she needs
Yeah.
to call. And you don't realize how much that is an effort
Yes.
at that point in time. Is she is doing physical work. Even if she's lying down, she's feeding the baby, she's burning calories. I lost weight after giving birth. Everybody was so shocked. They're like, "Oh, you look so thin. What did you do?" I was like, "No, I did exercise before." So I had already gone 1 inch, like one size down. You didn't see me before, but I still had lost. I could see. I saw myself in the mirror. I
Yeah.
was like, "I'm
Yeah.
losing weight with breastfeeding." It's now that I'm eating so much that I'm gaining back, and it's not, and it's not postpartum. It's me
Yeah.
eating to my heart's full and more than I need. So, yes, please, you are taking away a big chunk from the mother. So, ask the family, the immediate family. The parents should be able to decide what it is. It's not even the
Yeah.
grandparents or on either side of the family to decide what should happen postpartum. And thank you for bringing that up, Surabhi, and adding so much nuance to it in your explanation. Yeah. I've loved our conversation, and this was beautiful. And I think we've covered, to me,
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
covered everything. If you want to add anything else, please feel free to before we wrap up.
I think the bottom line is the intuition part. Just be more intuitive with everything that goes around you, starting from the conception, not just in the postpartum. Because I know women are questioned at every stage, especially in this part of life. So, and know that you are not answerable to anyone. And just because you put your foot down to do things your way doesn't make you a bad person. It's just the choices that you make for your child, for your own self and your own sanity, and it is absolutely okay. And nobody needs to be convinced with it, and nobody needs to align with it except for your partner who is going to support you. Nobody else even needs to know the reason behind the things that you do either. And you don't have to explain. Unfortunately, we are explaining ourselves a lot for the choices that we make, but I hope eventually that stops and we just listen to the mothers and agree with what she says and don't question it. Don't ask her for an explanation. I hope we reach there sooner than later. But if you have to explain to the loved one that you want to give an explanation, please do. Otherwise, you don't have to explain yourself to the entire world. It's nonsense. It's energy draining, and that's not something that you want to do. So, and please enjoy all the phases. They grow out of everything so, so quickly, and you will miss it all. So, hold them for as long as they allow you to, and then enjoy every phase of it. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, wonderful. So, people around women, please let them take some space. Don't make them shrink. Let them take their due space. This is the time that they should be the queens that they are. So, on that note, thank you so much, Surabhi. I enjoyed myself. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Divya.
There is a field beyond fear, where the body is empowered to take on labor and birth. To land there, it is crucial to take birth education. To enroll into our unique labor and birth preparation course, reach out to us at www.birthagni.com or scroll through all available prenatal and postnatal preparation classes. Thank you for listening, all in the spirit of birth, womanhood, and freedom. Remember, you got the power. This podcast is about physiological birth and does not offer or claim to provide medical knowledge or diagnosis. Starting a podcast with poor recording tools in the market? It was painful until I found Zencastr. Its high quality audio and video recording, along with the option of a backup, makes it super sturdy and a savior at times. With an easy to use dashboard and super convenient tools for advertising campaigns such as reels and videos, Zencastr is my comfort choice. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code BIRTHAGNI, BIRTHAGNI, and you will get 30% off of your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. You may also explore their free hobbyist plan to begin with.